With so many products on the market, it will be challenging for you to pick out the perfect one. So we have chosen the 6 best products out there to make it easier for you. Please check out the description for more information and its latest pricing. The Mac Studio is Apple's newest top-flight computing powerhouse. Looking like a couple of Mac Minis welded together, the Mac Studio is designed for creative professionals and is perfect for video editors with big power needs as well. It can run using Apple's own M1 Max or M1 Ultra chip, the later of which gives you double the core, memory, and bandwidth of the former. This is one of the most powerful computers Apple has ever made. It coped incredibly well with any creative task we threw at it, including video editing. We put it through its paces, editing a complex project in Final Cut Pro, including scenes that incorporate 8K footage. It ran as smoothly as you like and was basically silent during the process. It also very nicely handled rendering 3D footage in Houdini. Without a doubt, it's an amazing machine. Suppose you need to perform the kinds of video editing tasks as described before. This is undoubtedly more computing power than you require at a higher price tag than you need to pay. But your video editing workflows is extremely power intensive, and you may need to be confident that your computer will keep up. In that case, we recommend the Mac Studio without any hesitation. The one thing that could be a downside is that you'll need to buy the monitor separately, but the ability to buy exactly the screen you need might benefit pros with specific needs. It's worth looking into the gaming PCs for your video editing needs. After all, gaming is an activity that requires a lot of power out of your computer for a long period of time, just like processing and rendering video. While many gamers build their own computers, there are plenty of other options for those who have no interest in doing just that, such as the HP Omen 30L. The glass-heavy style lets you see the internal components, which may not be to everyone's choice, but we like it. The computing power is excellent, especially for the price point, with a healthy 16GB RAM. The graphical performance is also outstanding, handy if you're planning a lot of intense After Effects work. The designs of the computer makes it relatively easy to swap out the parts, so if you are someone who can get their hands dirty, you'll be able to help the HP Omen 30L keep up for a few years. There's only one cooling fan, and be aware that it does get loud when the computer is performing demanding tasks. You could be forgiven for thinking someone had crammed a jet engine in there. This is hardly a killer flaw, just something to be aware of. The 24-inch iMac has gotten a big redesign and several new coats of color. The silver aluminum standard of iMac's past has been replaced by the 7 new color options that harken back to the colorful heydays of the iMac G3s. And also, the Apple logo is gone, which graced the lower lips of earlier models, replaced by a larger version on the back of the device. As with the iMac's past, the port on Apple's 24-inch iMac are almost all on the backs of the displays, specifically along the bottom right-hand corners. It's an aesthetically pleasing choice that helps in keeping your cables hidden from view. Still, it also means you have to go through the hassles of squeezing behind your desk or flipping the computer around if you want to fiddle with them. The 24-inch display on Apple's new iMac sports a 4480 by 2520 resolution with 218 pixels per inch, as well as the support for the P3 wide color space and true tone, an optional setting which, when enabled, adjusts the display's color temperature based on the quality of ambient light. There are 6 speakers built into the bottom of the new 24-inch iMac, 2 pairs of low-latency woofers, and 1 pair of high-frequency tweeters with support for spatial audio via Dolby Atmos. The screen looks so darn good, and when you play movies or games on it, the speakers make those experiences sound great. The low glare and wide viewing angles on the iMac's gorgeous display make the idea of gathering a group of family or friends around it to watch something seem reasonable, which is more than I can say for most computers. The Mac Mini has long been the brand's most affordable computer, but occasionally it was left out from the Intel CPU updates last year, making the computer look forgotten. Now that Apple is making its chip, the Mac Mini is back in the rotation. In 2020, the Mac Mini helped launch the M1 chip. Now in 2023, the Mac Mini, with a 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro, is debuting the M2 Pro. The difference between the M2 and the M2 Pro are pretty minor but consequential. The M2 Pro provides significant advantages for some uses. The M2 Pro has doubled the amounts of transistors over the M2 and has twice the memory bandwidth. The M2 has an 8-core CPU with a 10-core GPU. The M2 Pro has up to a 12-core CPU and up to a 19-core GPU. The M2 Pro also has additional Thunderbolt controllers, allowing it to be equipped with 4 Thunderbolt ports instead of the 2 on the standard M2 Mac Mini. This also allowed the M2 Pro Mac Mini to support up to 3 monitors instead of the 2 from the standard M2. The M2 chip brings the Mac Mini into a new world of performances. With the M2 and the M2 Pro, the Mac Mini sits among the most powerful computer Apple provides at any price point. The Mac Mini is a tiny package that gives a lot of flexibility. Bundle it with one of Apple's studio displays for a great iMac alternative, or use it with an inexpensive monitor for a low-cost workstation. As always, the Mac Mini is a well-valued proposition, and it never looked better than it does with the M2 and M2 Pro. The HP Envy 34 has a basic design. Though the ultra-widescreen display is large, the AIO doesn't draw much attention to itself and easily blends into one's work environment. Its simple square standard and cylindrical shaft are equally utilitarian. The stand on our HP Envy 34 review unit doubles as a 15-watt Qi wireless charger. This optional upgrade frees you from having to tie up one of Envy's ports with a charging cable for Qi-compatible devices like your phone. The Expansha ultra-wide 34-inch display gives you plenty of room for both work and play. I wrote the majority of this review on the AIO, and typically had 3 windows open at any given time. This made my workflow considerably easier since I didn't have to keep flipping between windows. The HP Envy AIO isn't lacking while it comes to the ports. The back of the machine has a headphone microphone jack, 2 USB-C ports, 4 USB-A ports, an HDMI port, and an Ethernet port. The shaft's right side has 2 USB-A ports, a USB-C port, and an SD card reader, all of which are fairly easy to access. The HP Envy performs thanks to its Core i7 11700 CPU and 32GB of RAM wonderfully. The asking price of the various configurations, even the entry-level $1,999 model, will certainly dent your wallets. However, considering the gorgeous 34-inch 5K display, powerful Intel Core CPU, and NVIDIA RTX 30 series GPU, along with expandable RAM and storage, I'd argue that you're getting your money's worth with this computer. At the top end, Dell actually provides the 3650 with Intel Core i9 and the Xeon processor, which are dramatically more powerful than the iCore 7 that is found in our budget-friendly units. And the graphics solution available at the high end ranges up to an NVIDIA RTX 5000 or AMD Radeon Pro W5700, 2 potent pro-level GPUs that are suitable to any demanding task you can imagine. It's not really elegant, but it's effective in a utilitarian way. The Precision 3650 also has a healthy collection of ports, front and back. On the front of our test machine are a trio of USB 3.0 ports, a USB-C connection, an SD card slot, rare nowadays on any desktop, and an audio headset jack. Not all workstations are made for high-octane visual rendering. In fact, one workstation use that is often overlooked in our raw power performance tests are financial applications. Suppose you want a decent machine that can handle multiple monitors and complex operations for stock trading or similar work. In that case, the Precision 3650 might be exactly what you need. The Dell Precision 3650 is ideal. It's a middle-of-the-pack workhorse, and while it may not lead with stunning performance, it's an excellent option for the number cruncher who doesn't have the budget or the need for gaming-level graphics and advanced 3D rendering. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and want to hear more from us, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get notified of our new videos.